Most people quit on their New Year's resolutions by February, and so did I for most of my life until last year. It was the first time I had ever set identity based resolutions. I asked myself one question: who will I be in 1 year? I wrote down, I'm an instrument of God, I'm a producer of worship, I am an artist of kingdom content. Cool thing was that all of these resolutions came to life. And they were more than just affirmations for me. It was a compass for who I wanted to become. By the end of this video, I'll give you the 3-step process that I'm using in 2026 to give myself the best shot at realizing my God-given potential and help you achieve your resolutions better than 99% of people. But first, and more importantly, you need to understand why your resolutions matter more than you think. Let's talk about the unlived life. You've felt glimpses of it. You get to the end of the year and nothing meaningful is accomplished. You wonder where the time went. Stack that up over a couple decades and you'll be left with some serious regret. Les Brown gave a haunting perspective when he said, imagine being on your deathbed and standing around your bed is the ghost of the dreams, the ideas, the abilities, the talent given to you by life. But you, for whatever reason, never pursued those dreams. You never acted on those ideas. You never used those gifts. You never used the talents. And there they are, those ghosts, standing around you as you're lying on your bed with large and angry eyes. They say, we came to you, and only you could have given us life. And now we have to die with you forever. You have greatness inside of you. You can feel it. I know this because you're made in the image of God. And most importantly, you have dedicated your life to the one who gave it to you. I really didn't have life until I surrendered mine to Jesus Christ. Nothing is going to make sense until you do that. I'll just be straight up honest. Don't wait. Your soul can't save itself. We all need a savior, and there's only one. The great thing is, the road doesn't end there. It's the beginning of a beautiful and difficult adventure. Step 1 to bringing your resolutions to life is to set an identity-based resolution. That's why this year I'm calling 2026 my Walter Mitty year. If you haven't seen The Secret Life of Walter Mitty, go watch it. The movie speaks to our generation and the time we're in so beautifully and artistically. Walter Mitty in the movie, he daydreams of adventure but never takes any action on it. If you're anything like me, you love watching people online do awesome stuff. It feels inspiring, but rarely ever turns into you actually pursuing your dreams and making them become a reality. The key of the whole movie is that Walter Mitty had to give up the comfort of the daydreaming and go on a difficult and uncomfortable adventure for himself. This year, 2026, I'm calling it my Walter Mitty year. This was really intentional because it encapsulates everything that I hope to accomplish in one singular idea, one identity, one movie. A couple of the goals inside of that is I want to make more music for God, do more YouTube videos, sing at live shows. I want to go take a couple weekend road trips, go out and adventure camping or something like that. I want to experience more life while giving up the daydreaming and habits that are keeping me stuck. If I didn't set the identity of the Walter Mitty year, that would be an extremely long and unrealistic set of priorities to try and remember throughout the year. But since they're in a simple one sentence phrase that I can look at on a note card every day that I can keep in my mind, like, okay, this is the Walter Mitty year. It serves as a compass to guide my decisions, my actions, and the things that I give up or don't give up. So a simple one, something realistic for you, most people want to lose weight. So if the goal is to lose 30 pounds this year, set the identity of my body as a temple. I'm an at-home athlete. I'm a thin work of art. I'm an Olympian in training. Some of these might sound like cliche or, like cringy. Like set one that sounds cool to you. Set one that sounds that like something you would love to become. It should take some time to come up with, and it needs to be specific to the person that you want to become. The idea is that it should be out of reach and unrealistic, and it should feel disingenuous that you are that person. It feels weird to say that I am a work of art or I am this. And that's the point. The new identity will fight for you to become that which you aim for. This is the most simple and transformative goal setting technique that I've ever experienced in my life. Whatever your hopes, dreams, aspirations are, set an identity around that and make it present tense. By the end of the year, if you just keep your mind on that identity, your decisions, your actions, your motivations, your beliefs, your character will slowly start to become that person. Everything will slowly start to align with the ideal version of yourself. Step number 2, sacrifice the most obvious hindrances to your highest potential. Last year, I gave my life to Christ, so I literally sacrificed my entire way of being. Me and my girlfriend broke up. There was substance abuse issues that I couldn't deal with by myself, so I went to a recovery program. Those were some of the hardest things that I've ever had to go through. And it felt like I was dying, like I was ripping my heart out of my chest. And I knew that those things didn't align with what a follower of Christ should be. Felt like I was dying because I was. That old man, that old version of me was dying. It says in the Word, in Matthew 16:24, then Jesus said to his disciples, whoever wants to be my disciple must deny themselves and take up their cross and follow me. As difficult as it is, that's why I call it a beautifully difficult adventure, because it's the path that leads to life and life more abundantly. The identity of an instrument of God required me to be a devoted follower. There were many instances when I had the opportunity to help someone when it felt inconvenient to me, or to give money to someone, or to give a ride. And even though I didn't want to, I knew that that identity of I'm an instrument of God, let him use me however he wants to. I wouldn't say 100% I did that perfectly, but I did that a lot of times, and I became a better instrument of his will. The identity of a producer of worship required me to praise him and to establish a new way of thanksgiving and gratitude and singing his praises even when I felt low. That created the first song that will be coming out, and it's one of the most amazing experiences that I've ever been through, because it literally transformed the way I feel and the perspective that I look at through the world, that there's so many reasons to be grateful. The identity that you set will require parts of you to die. It sounds super harsh, I know, but that's what it is. That's what sacrifice is. Um, and it will be uncomfortable for a little while until you get into the next step. My big sacrifice for 2026 is doom scrolling. I deleted all the apps that were like stealing my time and me justifying them of saying I'm using them for inspiration, whatever. I deleted Facebook and TikTok and YouTube shorts off my phone. The idea is to look at your life and to take out the biggest roadblocks, the obvious things that you know will stop you from becoming the person that you want to be. If you came up with something like, I'm a thin work of art, but your pantry is filled with snacks, throw them out. And it doesn't matter if you end up buying snacks a week later and then binge on them and throw them out again? If you keep that statement in mind of I'm a thin work of art, it will have your subconscious fighting for you to become that and finding a way for you to become that. That's the main point. Sacrifice the big things so it makes room for the good things. Step 3, exchange the hindrances for your highest potential. This is where real growth happens. It's pretty scary and difficult because it's the process of becoming a new person. Last year for me, this was going to Bible studies, fasting, praying, going through the process of a recovery program, reading the Bible, studying how to make music, practicing writing, and doing raw emotional YouTube videos. So this year for me, it's going to look like doing live shows, sharing my heart and experiences with people openly, releasing music, and going on some adventures. All of those things are new and uncomfortable for me, and that's the point. It feels like danger, but it's real life. It's exciting. So I've used the thin work of art analogy probably way too many times already, but if you're using that, this looks like filling your pantry with healthy snacks, meal prepping, going to the gym, and maybe doing something creatively, physically, like going out dancing or something. Bonus step 3.5, get some accountability. This is the last part, and it'll help you accelerate your growth tremendously. And I know it's super uncomfortable. It's a terrifying word to me and probably to a lot of other people because we don't want to come up short in front of people. We don't want to say our resolutions out loud because what if I fail? But if you set an identity-based resolution like we're talking about, then you become closer to that version. You can't fail because you've gotten better at it. So there's two types of accountability: self-accountability and having an accountability partner. Both are very useful to develop. If you can be honest with yourself and track your progress or lack thereof every week, regardless if you failed on your resolutions already, you're going to make tremendous progress. Carl Jung famously stated, until you make your unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Consciously looking at your life without condemnation or judgment is the beginning of growth. Without it, all of the bad habits are just running in the background and nothing ever changes. This is a perspective that I'm still breaking out of, but progress does not look like perfection. Most people, including myself for most of my life, would set resolutions like lose 30 pounds, save $10,000, complete a half marathon. If you don't complete the goal, even if you lose 20 pounds, you feel like a failure because you weren't aiming at progress or becoming a better version of yourself. You were aiming for perfection. So this year on Sundays, I'm taking a self-accountability audit. I already know that I won't hit all of my goals in all of the areas of the identity that I set of my ideal year perfectly, but I'm shooting for higher than a 32%. That was my stat for last year for the time that I tracked. I only did it for 2 months and I wish I would have done it for longer, but I can look at that now and that's progress because I can say I got a 32% last year. I'm aiming to do better than that. So what I did was I wrote out all of the daily, weekly, monthly, and yearly disciplines that I need to do in order to produce the outcomes that I hope for in the Walter Mitty year. So this, I believe, is a super important part of it too is, all right, you have the identity, you know, the hindrances, you're going to replace the hindrances for your highest potential, and then you have to actually track it. This is the accountability piece. So here's a breakdown for everything that I'm doing, and I hope this perspective helps you on taking your potential seriously. Disciplines and professions daily. Writing for YouTube, 1 hour, 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. Building Kingdom Compass, 1 hour, 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. Writing songs, 30 minutes, 7 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. Video editing, 30 minutes, 7:30 a.m. to 8 a.m. Singing practice, 1 hour, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Guitar practice, 30 minutes, 5 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. Weekly, 1 YouTube video posted on Sundays. 1 time audit done. 1 song written. Monthly, 3 lesson-based videos posted. 1 live show posted. 4 songs written. 1 song recorded and produced. By the end of 2026, 12 live shows, 52 YouTube videos, 48 songs written, 12 songs produced, Kingdom Compass released. So every day in my journal and notebook, I write down the daily disciplines and the time that I actually completed in each one of those, or if I completed any time in them at all. By the end of the week, I'll take a percentage of all of those habits and the time that I actually spent in them. That way I'll have a realistic idea of what percentage of my potential I used that week. By the end of the year, I'll understand if by the time that I tracked, if I actually came up with my potential by the outcomes that I produced. So I already missed some of the video editing and other things this week. Like in this YouTube video, I really wanted to compress some things down and speak better, be able to give a more concise script on this. But I know that I'm not going to do everything perfectly. So I wanted to come, make sure I recorded this video and edited it and put it out so that somebody can get some insight from it, hopefully. The point is that I'm not trying to hit 100%. I'm not. I'm not trying to be perfect. I'm trying to make progress. And by the end, by the end of the year, it'll really turn into a game that I'm just trying to beat this high score at, which is a fun way of becoming a great version of yourself. And this will look different for everybody based on your identity that you set and the size of your aspirations and goals and dreams. But really, like, you should be ruthless and detailed about this, because, like, remember that Les Brown quote, like, all your dreams and aspirations, like, they're gonna look at you when you're dying and say, like, why didn't you bring me to life? It was only you that could have brought me to life. The person that you could become is waiting for you to be that way, that disciplined, dialed in version of yourself. The other form of accountability is an accountability partner. For me, I'm in a men's group this year, and we're meeting every Sunday. The idea is that we're just going to be open and honest with each other of where we're at in our life. The goal is that we want to be better men of God. And the point of that is that we're going to be open and honest with where we're at, regardless if we hit our goals or our milestones for the week. This gives us grace while also pushing ourselves to be the best versions of ourselves possible. For you, this could be a friend or a men's group or a women's group, and you could just call them and ask, like, hey, I want to be better this year. Can we just meet up with each other? No pressure, no judgment, just share if we did or didn't hit our goals. And if you just do this, if you just meet up with them every week and say where you're at vulnerably and honestly, it will do amazing things for you, not only in your friendship, but just in your life as a whole. To say, I'm an open book. Here's what I am. Here's what I'm going through. You don't need to make crazy justifications for why it's going that way. You just say, lay it on the table and say, this is what it was this week. One lesson that I'm in the process of learning is that being a good friend means being vulnerable, asking for help. And what this does is it allows the other person to drop their guards down and let them be themselves. And together you can grow. Like I hope this channel can do, with me being open and honest and vulnerable about my experiences and what I've been through. And I hope that sharing that with you will help you really save some time and just become a better person. So I felt compelled to share this with the timeliness and what I've learned in my life so far up to this point. I hope that this inspired you to take action and to follow this stuff and to do it and to make this the best year ever. So I hope that it helped you in some way. Comment down below what your favorite part was, or if you want to see anything specific from me in the future. So God bless you. Keep dreaming. The kingdom is with you. Peace.